All right, everybody. Next up is creating our pin cushion. And we are going to be using the straps for this. So this has to come after you make the straps. Once they're already ready to go, this is how you're going to make your pin cushion with the straps attached. All right, so like I said, you're going to need your two strap pieces of fabric. You're going to need your pin cushion fabric, which is 6 by 8 inches, and then you need your piece of muslin. This is just going to create an extra kind of barrier because inside your pin cushion, you're going to put rice so that it creates the like bean bag piece. It's going to be a nice weight in there as well as hold all your pins. So the first thing you're going to do is take your printed fabric right side up and place it on top of the piece of muslin. There is no right or wrong side to the muslin that you're using, so it doesn't really matter. As long as you can see your good side up, you are all set and ready to go. Then what you're going to do is take your two strap pieces and you're going to line them up. You can pick either side, it doesn't really matter, on the 6-inch side, and you're going to put your straps. So I'm just going to place them first. And you can kind of eyeball it and see, but what I'm going to show you how to use is your seam gauge. So the nice thing about the seam gauge is it has this little piece that you can kind of move as you need to work with it. So I'm going to have you line up your straps an inch away from the edges. So I put the little kind of stopper at my 1 inch, and I'm going to use that, line up my red stopper at the edge of my fabric, and it's going to tell me exactly where an inch is. At that point, I'm going to move my strap so that it's right at that 1 inch. I'm going to flip my fabric and do the same thing on this side. And now my two straps should lay pretty even. I am going to just take a couple pins and pin them in place, one on each, so that they don't move in this next step. Okay, so now that I have that all set, you'll see that I have my two pins, my two straps on the right side of the fabric. Now I'm going to take and pull this side that doesn't have the straps pinned to it over and lay it on top of the side that does have the straps. Once I lay it over, again, you can kind of finger press that fold just so it stays flat as you go ahead and pin it. Now, I'm going to pin it on all three sides that are open. You are not going to be sewing on the side that's a fold. So you'll see me pin this right now. Again, I'm pinning perpendicular to the way that I'm going to be sewing. So there's one. There's the second one on that side. Gonna put one right here. Another pin. I don't like this pin. Another pin right here. And then a couple on this side. All right, so now as I'm pinning, or now as I'm sewing, my fabric isn't going to be shifting on me too much. I've always been told there is such thing as pinning too many times. So I always try to do, every like 3 fingers is a good distance away to pin. You don't want to just keep putting them there, but you also don't want to put them too far apart that in between those pins, the fabric is able to shift. So here is how I have this all set up. The last thing before I show you where you're sewing is going to be to grab just something to mark with. And for the sake of the video, I'm going to use this purple pen. You'll see on the directions, it tells you you're going to stitch around, but leave an opening to turn. Where I want you to leave an opening is on one of the 4-inch sides. So again, you can choose, but it's not on the same side that has the straps pinned to it. It's one of the other 2. So again, it doesn't matter, but what I'm going to do then is mark off, and actually this might be a good time to use your seam gauge again. Mark off about 2 inches for yourself to leave open. So there's that. And I will mark on this end. And what I always like to do, you can see my 2 markings there. And I also like to draw a line in between, especially if I know I can't see through it, just to tell myself not to sew right there. Okay. So now I'm going to show you your stitching line. You're going to stitch from this end and backstitch and start. And when I get to here, I'm going to backstitch and I'm going to stop. I'm going to pick my fabric out. I'm going to put it back in and I'm going to start here. I'm going to go forward. I'm going to backstitch, go forward. I'm going to pivot at my corner, go across, pivot at the corner, and go all the way down this side. Okay. So you're going to be making like a rectangle, but only 3 sides. Do not sew at all on the edge that has a fold. Okay. So I'm going to show you that on my machine right now. There we go. I turned it. So hopefully you can see. I'm going to move some supplies out of the way. And here we go. All right. So I'm on the side that doesn't have my markings. So you'll see that I'm going to edge of the presser foot again. Back stitch. When I get close to my pins, again, try to remember to pull them out. You forget, it's not the end of the world. When I get close to my corner, what I'm going to do, keep the needle down, pick it up, turn it. I'm pivoting at the corner and continue going. Now you will remember that on the inside of my fabric, I do have an extra pin holding those straps down. In this case, I can't take it out, and that's okay. Do one more stitch, turn it. Now I'm almost at my marking, so I'm gonna go up to the marking, back stitch, so again, and then I'm gonna pull it out and then just do that little piece right here in between the marking and my fold. So put that back down, needle in the fabric. Okay, so I forgot to take a couple of these out, or I just didn't get to them. There we go. All right, so if I trim my threads, you can see exactly where my stitching lines are. It'll be nice for you to just see it first, and then you'll see me turn. A couple more threads here. And again, along with pressing, trimming your threads is another nice thing. Just kind of gets that yucky stuff out of the way. All right, so now you can see that I have this all stitched. I'm holding the fold, which has no stitching on it right now. And here's where I did that small set. This is open, no stitching is here. And then I stitched up and around and down. Okay, so now all you have to do is turn this, the whole thing right side out. Now you'll remember, and I don't think you can see it, I can see it on the side, the pins are on the inside. So a nice easy thing to do is to just reach in and feel for that pin and pull the pin out before you start turning it. Otherwise you're going to have that kind of in the way. So I'm going to reach in, find the other one. The farther away one is a little harder. And now both of my pins are out. Now what you're going to do is just start pulling little pieces of the fabric out. Don't have to pull really hard. It'll start to come. It's not going to be super easy right away, but turn it like this. All right. Now you just have to kind of straighten the whole thing out. You'll see your straps come through. You'll see the bag, and then you start to find the corners. A trick with corners is to take your finger and put it on the inside of the bag and push your corners out with your pointer finger. Again, find the corner and point, push it out as best as you can. They don't have to be perfect, but do the best you can. So there's two of my corners. Now I'm going to go to the far corners. Again, a little bit harder in the farther end, but it's not bad at all. Find the corner, push it out, one more corner, and we are fully turned right side out, and you will be able to see the pincushion with its straps. All you have left is the bag. All right, so there is the first and second steps kind of put together. So you have your straps, which was step one. And then step two is your pin cushion. Obviously, it's not stuffed, so you'll see that there is still an opening. You'll still see the raw edges right here. And we will get that closed up once the whole bag is put together. All right, once you get this done, you are set on step two.